Welcome to IA Player, where we don't just play games, we break them down. So what happens when you take a legendary franchise, one famous for its careful, deliberate parkour, and hand it over to the masters of fast-paced, chaotic action? Well, you get the Rogue Prince of Persia. Today, we're going to dive into its journey from a promising idea to the polished, confident roguelite it is now.
You know, this quote right here, it absolutely nails the game's dual identity. It's a fresh, adrenaline-fueled take on a classic series, and it comes from Evil Empire. Yeah, the same brilliant minds who expanded the legendary roguelite Dead Cells. So let's get into how they managed to pull this off. All right, so here's the game plan. We'll start with how they reinvented the prince, then we'll get into the poetry and motion of its movement. After that, we'll cover the combat, its journey through early access, take a look at the good and the bad, and finally, land on our final verdict. Okay, first up, an unexpected prince. At its heart, this game does something really bold. It takes the classic Prince of Persia series, which we all know for that careful, step-by-step platforming, and just injects it with the high-speed energy of a modern roguelite. And honestly, when you think about the whole time-bending lore of the franchise, it kind of feels like this is the genre it was always meant to be in. And here's why it works so well. The series' whole time travel stick is just a perfect fit. In this game, the prince has this magical bola, and whenever he dies, it rewinds time and zaps him right back to a safe oasis. It's the perfect story excuse for that core roguelike gameplay loop we all know: die, learn, upgrade, and go at it again. So while that roguelite structure gives the game its bones, its soul is found in the how. And I'm talking about the movement. Literally every single review out there agrees. Its single greatest strength is how incredible it feels to move. This is way more than just platforming. It's like a fluid, acrobatic dance. The Prince's acrobatic toolkit is just massive. You can run along walls in the foreground and the background, dash in midair, vault right over enemies, and chain every single one of these actions together endlessly. The result is this constant, exhilarating flow state where you're just blazing through levels with pure speed and grace. And yeah, this is a world away from the classic games. Those were all about methodical, almost puzzle-like platforming. You had to be precise, you had to be patient. This new Prince? Nope. This is all about momentum and nonstop fluid agility. It's a brilliant evolution of the formula for a modern audience. But all that incredible agility isn't just for getting from point A to point B. It's the engine for a fast-paced, kinetic combat system where your movement is, without a doubt, your greatest weapon. This right here is the heart of the experience. You fight through these levels that change every time, collecting resources called spirit glimmers from the enemies you take down. And look, you are going to die. It's just part of the deal. But when you do, you return to the oasis where you can unlock permanent improvements. More health, new weapons to start with, making you stronger for the next attempt. The customization also offers some surprising depth. You've got a whole variety of primary weapons, from swift twin daggers to heavy axes, plus secondary tools like bows and grappling hooks. You'll also find medallions that give you passive buffs, and how you arrange them in your inventory can actually enhance them. Oh, and never, ever underestimate the kick. It's a key tactical tool for stunning enemies or just booting them into a spike trap. But the game we have today didn't just appear out of thin air. Its 15-month journey in early access is a story of complete transformation, where constant feedback from the community really shaped it into its final, polished form. When it first launched, the core mechanics were fantastic, but a big criticism was the lack of meaningful progression. Evil Empire listened. The final version didn't just add a visual overhaul, it added permanent skill trees, and that was the absolute game changer. It's what finally made every single run feel rewarding and purposeful. So after that whole journey through development, what did everyone ultimately think? Well, the consensus points to some very clear strengths and a few recurring weaknesses. The praise is pretty much universal for its amazing parkour, satisfying combat, and striking art style. The weaknesses, though, seem to be a direct result of that intense focus. The story is a bit underdeveloped because the gameplay loop is king. The boss fights can feel a little simple because the real challenge is mastering movement. And it doesn't have the deep complexity of a game like Hades because it prioritizes accessible, fluid action above everything else. So, after weighing the incredible highs against those understandable lows, what's the final verdict? Should you actually play it? At the end of the day, the Rogue Prince of Persia is a highly polished, incredibly fun experience. It's one of the most accessible roguelites on the market, which makes it an excellent starting point for newcomers, but it still offers a deeply satisfying adventure for veterans. It brilliantly honors both of its inspirations and absolutely stands on its own as a fantastic game.
With its singular focus on that fluid traversal, the game really carves out a unique space for itself. And that leaves one big question. Is this the new benchmark for platforming roguelites? For now, I'll leave that one for you to decide.